What I cooked for Christmas this year, I didn't go all out the way, so it was a pretty simple meal. I wanted my dressing, so I made sure that I made that cornbread. I do that the night before, so I get my cornmeal, your flour, your baking powder, oil, eggs, milk, and salt. And then you want to make sure you get that stirred up very well. I use the yellow cornmeal. Some people do use white cornmeal, but I actually prefer the yellow cornmeal. After I get it mixed up, I put that in the oven. I let that bake for about 30 minutes at 400 degrees. And then I take it out and I let it sit overnight. I prefer to make my cornbread the day before because when it sits, it's a little bit better the following day. After I let that sit, I go ahead and I crumble that cornbread down to make it small, fine pieces. I put my Trinity blend in some butter and I saute that. The Trinity blend is bell peppers, onions, and some celery. I add that into my cornbread mixture. I do put breadcrumbs in my cornbread mixture as well. That has been sitting out previously a couple days before, so we can get that nice crunchy texture in there. And then I season that with some poultry seasoning, some ground thyme, and some sage. And I also add in my Greek seasoning because I put that on everything. I'm also going to make a ham. So I make my ham. I like to put pineapples in my ham. I like to put cherries in my ham and brown sugar. So I make sure that I do that and I put that in the oven as well. And I let that bake. After I make my ham, I'm going to have some fried cabbage. Some people put sausage in their cabbage. Other people put bacon. I prefer bacon. So I'm going to saute that bacon, make sure it's nice and brown. After that, in the same pan, I'm going to add my onions, make sure they get translucent before I add that garlic in there. I'm going to add that garlic in there, and then after that, I'm going to put my cabbage. I'm going to let my cabbage simmer. Some people put vinegar in their cabbage, some people don't. I didn't put any vinegar in my cabbage. I seasoned that cabbage up really well with all of the seasonings that I choose. Again, Greek seasoning is one of those seasonings that I use. And then I make sure that cabbage cooks down, and I add in that bacon, continuing to stir the cabbage just to make sure all the pieces get cooked through thoroughly. And then after that cabbage, we go ahead and we have our Christmas dinner. I didn't make any potato salad this year, but my sister did bring us some potato salad so we can have that. I asked my brother if he can bring something, and of course he doesn't cook. So he stopped by the store and grabbed some cake, some dinner rolls, and some soda. So as you can see, we have everything we need for this Christmas dinner. We have our dressing, our turkey, our cabbage, our ham, our potato salad, cranberry sauce, those dinner rolls, and the cake and soda of your choice or water.